They say on his day off, a postman usually goes for a walk, and a sailor heads for the nearest lake for a happy hour of rowing. My name is Mike Nelson. I'm a professional diver. Day off, what could be more natural for me than to go swimming? Of course, there's some things that make swimming more attractive at one time than at another. At this particular moment, and in this particular place, all seemed right with the world. But in another part of the city, it was a different story. The burglar alarm at the jewelry store automatically alerted the police. In a few seconds, all available units were converging on the area, while a desperate boy looked frantically for some means of escape. And the escape that he selected, a storm drain, put both of us in a very tight spot.
All right, you. Start climbing up that ladder. And keep those hands so I can see them. Now look, mister. That's a storm drain you're in. You can come out and surrender or drown. Take your choice. Two M27 at headquarters.
Headquarters by.
We've got a robbery suspect trapped in a storm drain on Park near Willoughby. Better check and see where this drain goes. See sort of a chance of him getting out somewhere along the line.
10-4.
A few minutes later, I received an emergency call from my old friend Cy Baker, Superintendent of Public Works. Cy knows everything there is to know about the city storm drains, and he knew that the young fugitive was in more than one kind of trouble. A police car rushed me to another opening in the storm drain. It was the last opening before the ocean. When a man's life is at stake, it's up to everyone to do what he can to help, whether the man is a minister of the gospel or a fugitive from justice.
I brought this map along to give you a clear picture of what goes.
Good.
Now, this main black line here is the storm drain from the mountains to the ocean. And this point here is where the suspect went in. It's a mile east of here. We call it storm drain exit number 2.
I'm with you.
Now, this is the point where we are right here.
I see.
This is storm drain exit number 3.
Well, what makes you think he went this way? Is there an exit in the other direction, too?
A policeman followed him down the manhole and saw him start in this direction. They've been watching it ever since.
I see. What's the water situation between these two exits?
Where he went in, it's 2 to 3 feet deep. Now, in between these two exits, there are these 2 auxiliary tunnels. They're secondary drains, but this time of year, the water runs pretty high, especially after last week's storms. The water in the whole system's going up.
I see. You mean if he doesn't go back to this exit that he went down, he runs the risk of being drowned, huh?
That's right. Even if he stays put, he's liable to drown, the way the water's going up.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Well, as I see it, the only thing you can do is to go in here and work your way back toward exit number 2.
What if he's already past this point here?
Nothing anybody can do. From here on down, it's a raging torrent to the ocean. I don't see how any man could live, even with diving equipment.
Well, we'll soon find out. I don't know what the current's like down there. It might be pretty fast. But if I go down the other exit, exit number 2, the one the fellow went down, I might frighten him into deeper water.
That's right. Might be tough to catch up with him before he passes this point, too.
Well, I'll see you later, boy.
They might. Remember one thing. This fellow just tried a stick-up. He may be armed.
Thanks. Throw me down my fins.
It was a tough current, like pushing your way up a swift river. I began to doubt if I could get far enough on one tank of air. It was hard to tell how much progress I'd made in the tunnel. The current seemed to be pushing me back as fast as my swimming was carrying me forward. I was sure that I would have to go much farther before I'd get out of the strong current. I was using too much time. I'd never make it without more air. There was only one thing to do. Go back up exit number 3 and try to reach him from exit number 2 with fresh air tanks. I couldn't understand how the fugitive had escaped being swept down toward number 3 exit, unless he'd already been carried past it. If so, no one could do anything for him.
I couldn't make any headway. Here. I better try the other exit. Exit number 2.
You said yourself you might scare him into deeper water.
Yeah. Well, that drain is filled up to the top now. A man will never be able to get here without a tank in his back. Now, when I get to the other exit number 2, if I get to him, and if he's still alive, I'll have to take him up the other exit. We'd never be able to manage to get to this one together.
Mr. Baker here?
I'm Baker.
And you're Mike Nelson.
That's right.
This young lady is Mrs. Carolyn Tucker. Her husband's name is Warren.
Warren!
He's the kid who's down on that storm drain.
Warren! Warren!
I'd assumed that the man in the storm drain was an adult, so I was quite surprised when I saw his wife, a kid, who couldn't have been more than 17. I wondered if he was any older.
Gotta get him out of there alive. I know we can work things out somehow. If only we can get Warren out of there alive.
I'm gonna try another exit. I'll swim with the current, you understand? I can get him that way. Come on, let's go.
Can I come?
What do you say?
Yeah, bring her along. You come with me.
When you find him, tell him I'm waiting for him. I'll wait for him forever. No matter what he's done. Oh, if you could only understand.
I understand. You love him.
Oh, yes, I do, Mr. Nelson. I'd do anything. He's never done anything like this before. He was desperate.
I'll do my best. Throw those down, huh?
Might take him quite a while, Mrs. Tucker. I think you'd be more comfortable waiting in the car.
I want to be ready to do anything I can to help.
Now, you come on now. You don't look so good. You better sit down and relax.
How is she?
Oh, she's all right, I guess. How about that? Just a couple of kids. Look at the mess they're in.
How'd you find out she was his wife?
Well, he'd been missing since yesterday. She came down to the police station to report it. And the description fit that of the kid who'd made the holdup attempt.
I see.
He had his picture with her. We sent it over to the jewelry store. 3 witnesses identified him without hesitation.
Did you say hold-up attempt?
Yeah, he didn't get a thing. He walked up to the counter and pushed across a note that said, I've got a gun. Give me $100 or I'll shoot. Well, the clerk hit the alarm and dropped down out of sight, and the kid ran off.
Did he have a gun?
Well, if he did, he didn't use it. No one saw a gun.
The water kept getting higher. There was still no sign of Warren Tucker. I kept thinking about his wife, hardly more than a child. It was heartbreaking.
I just can't.
Mrs. Tucker, you told Mr. Nelson your husband had never been mixed up in anything like this before. What happened this time?
I guess it's because of the mess we're in.
What kind of a mess?
We had a pretty rough time this past year. When we were married, Warren was 17 and I was 16. We were both in high school, and his parents objected. So did mine.
So you got married anyway?
We were in love with each other. We wanted to be together.
You ran into trouble.
Trouble? I'll say. We had to quit school. Neither of our parents would help us. So we pulled up stakes and we came out here. But Warren couldn't find a full-time job. Pretty soon we found out I was going to have a baby. And we didn't have any money. We were actually hungry.
Mrs. Tucker, in this day and age, it isn't necessary for anyone to go hungry.
Warren was too proud to accept charity.
But not too proud to try a holdup, huh?
Well, I guess he just got desperate.
Mrs. Tucker, it isn't right for any man to solve his problems by robbing another man.
Well, I know, but he doesn't deserve to die for what he's done. And I heard the policemen talking, and they don't think he's going to get out of that storm drain alive.
I felt a new pull in the water. It seemed to indicate that I was getting close to one of the secondary drains. Then I saw him, holding to a slim projection from the roof of the tunnel, managing to keep his head above water.
Get away from me, you! Going back!
Warren, I've come down here to help you.
I don't want any help. I want to die.
There's a pretty girl waiting up top for you, your wife. She wants me to tell you that no matter what you've done or why you did it, she'll always be waiting for you.
I had to do it. There's no other way.
You're lucky that you've got somebody that loves you like that.
Don't come any closer. I can't go back. I can't.
You're not going to be able to hold on much longer. It's getting too deep, too fast. You're going to be swept out to sea. I won't be able to save you.
I don't want to be saved.
Think of somebody else besides yourself. Your wife.
She'll go back to her family. They'll take care of her.
But she won't have her husband, the guy she loves.
I just couldn't stand prison. God, I just couldn't stand it. I'd never be able to face it. Never, never. I'm gonna get out of this mess. I'm gonna let go.
Go ahead. What are you waiting for?
I can't. God help me. I can't. I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to let go. Afraid not to. What am I gonna do?
Listen. The water's gonna be over our heads in a few minutes. Did you ever use one of these? No. Well, you're gonna have to use one now. You want to get out of here alive. I only have one tank. We're gonna have to share it. You get your air through this mouthpiece. You're gonna have to do what you call bunny breathing. We'll pass this back and forth. Now, this is the way it works. You have to blow on it hard before you take in your breath of air. Blow like this, hard. Then get through the water in the hose. And you take your breath of air from this, and I'll hold my breath while you're doing it. And then I'll take it from you. I'll take my breath of air from it. You hold yours. You understand?
It's been so long. So long. Oh, please. Isn't there anything else we can do?
Up here, not a thing.
All right, now let's try it. Here we go, huh? I'll be with you all the time, right next to you. Here we go.
Water's getting higher every minute.
Is there any way you can block it off?
No, there isn't. If there had been, I'd have had it done a long time ago.
Well, what can we do?
Nothing. Just a round, fat nothing.
The water had already risen over our heads. Making time against this current and under these conditions was like swimming against a tidal wave. How far were we from the drain exit, or even from shallow water? I didn't know, and what's more, I didn't want to think about it. Warren had been getting more and more reluctant to release the mouthpiece. I knew if he panicked, he'd start breathing water and drown. So I took the mouthpiece as little as possible. Close to the opening now, but the situation was getting out of control. Our buddy breathing was using up the air fast. I knew that it was getting low, and having to fight him for every breath was using up precious time and energy.
Here they come. Took you long enough.
I never like to rush things.
I'm sorry.
May I?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Mister, I want to...
You can thank me by taking good care of your wife and child.
I'll try. I mean it. I'll really try.
I know you will. What do you think they'll do with him?
It's hard telling.
He did give himself up, you know.
Well, it should make some difference.
Got a lot of guts, that kid. The way he swam in the water against the current. A kid like that shouldn't get into the kind of trouble he did. I'll bet he wouldn't if he had somebody to guide him.
I know just the guy.
Oh,
You. You could talk the judge into putting him on probation.
me?
Yes, you.
Pretty clever, aren't you? Okay, I will. Come on, Bob. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. You know, 3/5 of the world is covered by the sea. And how little most of us know about that underwater world. Go below with us again next week, huh? For another thrilling adventure in Sea Hunt.